I got a question from one of my subscribers about how to create financial independence through copywriting. And I'm going to read it here. Roy, I'm a 9 to 5 worker looking to replace my monthly salary with an online business. I don't come from a writing or copywriting background. I have only recently started to learn more about copywriting. My goal is to potentially earn an income from it and potentially leave my 9 to 5. If I'm really honest, I want to become totally financially independent from my husband and my 9 to 5. My day job is very technical and copywriting is appealing to me because I feel it requires me to be creative, which I don't get in my job. What advice do you have? B. Okay, so I'm going to give you some very specific advice about copywriting. I'm also going to kind of lay out a path of financial milestones that you'll want to pass and where it might make sense to perhaps leave that 9 to 5 job. And I'll even throw in some bonus money advice towards the end that I've used on my path to becoming financially independent. So first things first, if there is one recommendation that I can give to you regarding copywriting, and if you want to become financially independent from copywriting, the one thing that you can do is to learn one copywriting skill that gets business results. Focus on one copywriting skill that gets business results. Now, what this is going to come down to is helping businesses generate traffic, or helping businesses generate conversions, or both. Usually most copywriting kind of involves both there. But if you learn one skill that gets business results, and I'm talking more leads, more customers or clients, more sales, more profits. If you learn one copywriting skill, let's say it's lead generation, or it's writing copy that actually gets people to the website where they see an offer, or it is writing product descriptions or sales letters, or writing email sequences that drive actual conversion behavior. Whatever it is, you want to learn one copywriting skill that gets business results, and we're talking leads, customers, sales, and profits. So figure out like what it takes to do one thing like that right. Oftentimes it's the shorter copy that's easiest to at least get started with. So it could be, hey, I learned to write Facebook ads, or hey, I learned to script YouTube ads, or hey, I learned to write emails that convert. I learned to write autoresponder emails. Whatever it is, right? Learn one copywriting skill that gets business results. And then once you at least have a grasp of what that skill is going to be, you need to figure out who needs that skill. So if it's Facebook ads, clearly Facebook advertisers, people that are testing a lot of ads on Facebook would be a good target for you to talk to about offering that skill. If it is email marketing, it would be people that are sending out emails regularly. If it's, product descriptions, maybe it's Amazon companies that sell through Amazon, or maybe it's independent e-commerce stores, people who sell through Shopify and whatever else. Figure out who needs that skill, and then find a way to start a conversation with those people. Now, this is pretty varied, and I'm not going to tell you a whole lot of specifics. I actually will say that I created a whole 3-episode mini course called the Launch Your Client Business Blueprint that does go into much more detail on this. But if you want to start conversations with those people, it's like low-key human being to human being. It's not spamming them with like long LinkedIn messages saying why, either one, telling your sob story, which is way too common for, hey, you don't know me, but let me tell you my sob story and why I need you to do business with me. Or number two, it's like an over the top pitch of like, hey, my business does all of these things and yada, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And here's why you should pay attention to me. And honestly, like neither of those work very well, but a low-key conversational approach where you're reaching out and you're saying, hey, like, for example, I notice your business runs a lot of Facebook ads. How's that working for you? They may reply, they may not. And then you might ask, hey, do you ever work with outside writers to write those Facebook ads? Oh, maybe a conversation goes from there. And then you have to have a process where you actually get on the phone with them and talk to them, or get on like a Zoom call with them. And that's actually what I lay out in my Launch Your Client Business mini course. But you have a process that you develop to actually turn an initial like low key conversation, maybe through direct message or email, into an actual selling conversation where you're talking about the services that you provide. So you figure out who needs the skill, you start a conversation with those people, and then in that conversation, you do make an offer to do that skill. Early on, this offer mostly, like your main purpose is to get experience and get some level of results of working with the client. So it's not necessarily like, it's not, hey, I'm doing my initial service offering to get rich or even to create that financial independence. Before you can even think about that, you do need to develop some experience and some results. Now, I'm not saying you should give it away for free. And in fact, for the most part, it is better to charge even a low fee for a service than to give it away for free, with a few exceptions. But for the most part, it's better to at least charge some kind of fee and say, hey, I'm getting started. I'd like to do this for you. I know this fee might be low compared to what you're used to paying, but I'm really looking for good clients that I can get experience and results with, and grow from there. And then once you have established, maybe once you've gotten 2 or 3 clients, once you've had a couple successes, then you want to start creating income. You want to start creating actual like money coming in from these projects. So you're going to, as soon as you have some experience and some results, then you're going to raise your fee and you're going to start to pinpoint a higher level fee that makes more sense for the type of results that you're getting. There's a lot of factors that go into actually setting your fee, and I don't want to go into that here. But the important point is your first couple projects are just to get experience and results. And then from there forward, then you really start to think about generating a real income from the work. And of course, that income should grow through time to the point that it does allow you to become financially independent, and even beyond that, like financially free, like having wealth beyond what you are, what you're desiring to spend on any regular basis. Now, you are going to hit some financial milestones along the way. When you do this right, first off, you're going to get any income. Like the first milestone that you have to hit is, hey, somebody paid me $1. Not $1. I'm not saying you should work for $1, but somebody paid me at least $1 to do work. This is why like many new businesses, actually, they put that first $1 up on their wall as like, ooh, this is the first $1 that we made from this business. That matters. That's actually a really big milestone because it means you went from 0 to something. Like you created something by offering this skill. So first financial milestone, you want to get any income. The second financial milestone that especially if you want to be able to potentially leave that 9 to 5, the second financial milestone that you absolutely need to hit is you need to create savings that are equal to at least about 90 days of expenses. So if we kind of pare our expenses down and we figure out how much we have to spend on a monthly basis just to live a life roughly equivalent to what we're living now, maybe even pull a scale back life a little bit, because a lot of times when you're starting a new business or starting a new career path, it does require a little bit of short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. But like what is the minimum we have to spend to maintain our current life and lifestyle, and what do I need to make sure that I have covered for at least the next 90 days. 90 days is good because it's enough time that it gives you some runway as far as getting started if you were to quit your 9 to 5 job. But it's also not so long that you can be just complacent. It's not so long that you can that you can just, I don't know, just live off the savings that you have in the bank. So you want to have savings at least equal to 90 days of expenses. And then the next milestone, and maybe along the way you have quit your 9 to 5. I don't know exactly where it fits in there. I know for me, based on life circumstances, as soon as I hit that 90 days of expenses and had made my decision, it was time to go off and create my freelance business writing copy. But what you want to do is, after you've hit that 90 days of expenses mark, having savings there, you want to aim as quick as possible to create a regular income that's greater than or equal to monthly expenses. Now, at one point in my copywriting career, fairly early on, it was like kind of a feast or famine thing. And I was in a famine period, and I talked to my accountant about this, and he said, Roy, like one of the things you really need to think about is how can you create kind of two buckets of income, two sources of income. And one of those buckets or sources of income is really just the income designed to help you meet your monthly expenses on a regular basis. And that should be pretty much equal to or greater than your monthly expenses. And then bucket two, which is where I was focused on, is like the get rich income, right? That's I want to make giant royalties and giant projects and whatever, like, and have a whole bunch of financial success as a copywriter. Well, he said, focus on bucket one and creating that regular income, and then set yourself up so bucket two can also happen too. So we've gone through the financial milestones: get any income, create savings equal to 90 days of expenses. And then the next milestone is that you're able to create a regular income that's greater than or equal to your monthly expenses. And then go for milestone 4, which is this like financial independence / grow rich fund. And that's look to just stat cash in the bank accounts, to continue growing and growing and growing your net worth, with the aim of, financial independence, not just being like, oh, all my bills are covered, but financial independence being, hey, I'm taken care of here. My money's making money. I don't really worry about money anymore. Yeah, I keep making an income, and it's always a goal to grow my wealth, but I'm much less worried on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis whether or not I'm actually making money from this, and I know that I'm covered. And so those 4 milestones that you want to go for, again, are get any income, create savings equal to 90 days of expenses, create regular income greater than or equal to your monthly expenses, and then grow your get rich fund. Now, one final kind of actually group three pieces of bonus financial advice that I want to give to you. The first one is one that I learned from Mark Ford, known in the copywriting world as Michael Masterson. And he had this idea early on where he said, you know what, if I get at least $1 richer every day, if every day I have $1 that I didn't have the day before, an extra $1 that I didn't have the day before, it's inevitable that I grow very wealthy. And today he's a multi-millionaire. I don't know how many times over, but he has become very wealthy around this one idea. So think about that. Think about, what can I do? How can I set up my financial life so that it's not just about like, oh, big lottery windfall winnings, but how can I grow richer every day? How can I grow richer every day? What can you do in your life? And this is more of a question than an answer, but what can you do in your life to grow richer every day? Great financial advice. Another bit of financial advice, which also, in my mind, I connect to Mark Ford, Michael Masterson. And this comes from like that age-old battle of, should we save more or should we earn more? Should we save more or should we earn more? And the point was that, yes, learning how to save more is great. Learning how to save more money will be beneficial, because for every dollar you earn, more of that will get put into savings. But that is inherently limited, because if you're earning, I don't know, $30,000 a year, there's no way that you're going to like save enough money to become rich off of a $30,000 a year income and be like, of course, paying all of your bills and cost of living and so on. So, and there I'm talking about American cost of living in the US. Yeah. So saving more can be valuable, and you should absolutely learn how to save money, but earning more is actually way more valuable. So the more, like, once you've figured out that one copywriting skill that gets business results, figure out how you can amplify that skill and leverage that skill to earn even more money, and figure out what skills you can add on top of it that will help you, again, increase your overall income. How can you make it scalable? How can you add on to it so it gets even bigger business results? How can you create your setup in such a way that you actually get paid, that you get paid more for doing the same skill? Just figure out ways to earn more and figure out ways to save more. And if you do both of those, you will grow your income faster than doing either one. So, I mean, arguably the example of the person who makes $1 million a year and spends $1 million a year, well, they're living paid paycheck to paycheck as much as the person who makes 30,000 and spends 30,000. The only difference is how much they're earning and spending. But the person that earns $1 million a year and spends $30,000 a year, maybe that's extreme, but the person who can do that, their savings is growing radically fast. And that's really the goal here. And then finally, one little bit of advice that I guess that doesn't come from Mark Ford is that you should invest in quality. A lot of wealthy people have figured out that you don't necessarily want to buy the cheapest option. And oftentimes buying the cheapest option of something will backfire because it's a low enough quality that it is, that your user experience of that thing will be drastically diminished, that you'll have a bad experience with it. Whereas if you buy the most expensive thing, oftentimes you're just paying for things like luxury or prestige or something like that, which, unless that's really what you're going, like that's a quick way to end up broke. And maybe if that's what you're going for on a particular item, that's great. But for the vast majority of purchases that you make, you want to invest in the best deal. And oftentimes that is something that's very high quality, but on the lower end of the price range. And if you spend a little bit of time looking for that, it's certainly available. One example is like, if you're buying a car, of course, it feels wonderful to drive off the dealer lot with a brand new car that nobody's ever driven before. But even in that act, when you do that, you're oftentimes carving like 25% off the value of the car as soon as you drive it off the lot, which means that you're actually paying, it's more like 33% more than you should for that same car, just for that privilege of driving the car off the lot when it is brand new. On the other hand, if you are willing to take like a factory recertified or a factory certified used vehicle that was maybe a lease car for a year or two, or that is, single owner, lower mileage, but then they sold it back to the dealership and the dealership fixed it up and had it factory certified. If you invest in something like that, not only are you saving that initial 33%, but you're usually taking a few extra percent off of the cost of an equivalent car, while also getting a very, very high quality model. So for example, our last car that we bought was a minivan that was a couple years old at the time. And it was fairly low mileage, mostly highway miles as we understood it, one owner, very good quality, and Toyota had recertified it as being like, oh, this is high quality. And they even backed it up with a smaller warranty because it's not a new car. But there was a lot of reliability that we were buying by buying that. And so it wasn't the cheapest car. It also certainly was not our most expensive option for getting a minivan, but it's been a great purchase for us because we invested in quality while also being thoughtful about not spending the most. And even those kinds of decisions can happen in lots of different places in life and your business and your career and so on. And when you make those decisions consistently, you'd be surprised how much they add up through time. Okay, so that's a lot to cover. One thing I will say is if you want to invest in quality with your marketing education, where you're certainly not paying the most, but you're getting a very, very high quality experience, my BTMS Insiders members library is actually I feel like it's the best value in marketing training, in copywriting training, and through the end of 2020. You actually save $500 off of what will be next year's price for lifetime membership. So you pay once, you never have to pay again, and you get access to all of my training for life, all the member benefits, plus everything that's added in the future. One low price. You can check out the links in the description with this video to learn more about that offer. And I will say that even if you're not ready for the lifetime price, the monthly membership is an incredible deal. And it's like signing up for Netflix, except for it's copywriting and marketing training, and you get unlimited streaming access to the entire catalog of training. And so the link to that is in the description as well. That's the BTMS Insiders All Access Pass. And finally, I'll say that I am generous in offering, you could call yourself generous, whatever. I offer a credit equal to 100% of what you spent towards lifetime access if you ever choose to upgrade as well, or if you have some past purchases with me and you'd like to upgrade to the lifetime access, that is available too. So my name is Roy Furr. This has been a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. I'd love to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how valuable you found this video lesson and why. Like, what's your biggest takeaway? What's your action item? How are you going to use this to gain your own financial independence through copywriting? Leave that in the comments below. Let me know. Also, tap that like button before you go so you get more content like this delivered to you. And so the magical algorithms of the internet will share it with more people like you who will find it valuable. You can certainly share it with folks directly, and subscribe before you go. You can subscribe here. Also go to breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com to get my daily emails Monday through Friday, including these videos and more exclusive content for email subscribers, like that Launch Your Client Business training, the 3-episode training, the free mini course. I'll include the link in the description to that one as well. That was first made available as an exclusive benefit for email subscribers. Again, my name is Roy Furr. This has been a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. I always aim for that 10 out of 10 value. I hope that I have delivered it here, and I look forward to seeing you again in your next video. I'll see you soon. Bye.